Pace jumping forwards with the buffs for him. And the Lucian Nami not seen that much anymore. It is normally that Lucian Braum, Lucian Leona, or something. Now they know that they know. And their mates look foolish. They look foolish. So foolish.
He had some very good performances from both of them.
Worth noting that Jachi was on RNG.
Yeah, he was.
So it's his new team for him, 2 Milky Way going forwards! 5 man.
Nice! What an insec off that one. Now potentially in danger though, as it's all gone a bit wrong. Trying to find the call the Forge got back. It looked phenomenal, but where was the follow-up?
Neither team really has fantastic engage unless the Ornn starts pulling that ultimate in the right spots, and it doesn't get enough there. So while it was the 4-man Crescent Guard and then onto a clone as well, yeah, it's all flash, no substance. JDG will take the kill, take the dragon.
I want to see the replay on that because Sheer pulled the ult 3-4 seconds after the play. Jachi and K hit nothing and retreated. That's rough. That's rough. We'll at least get a shove here onto Xiaoshu, whose Warford's already burned the flash from the earlier play topside. Is burning out Joy pretty low. Exhaust just timed up. Can let an Electro Harpoon here. Might be able to return the favor, but no, just not enough in the tank. And Care at least picks up a return kill.
Down people with this combination. Herald's now started, and FPX trying to hold the choke points. I don't know whether they'll be really able to stop JDG getting in, though.
Interesting to track. Of course, you've still got a Braum, you've still got an Ornn. Looks turns around a lot with those flashes now down. Chunk onto Milky Way. A scout came over the back of the pit. The shockwave comes on down, but Milky Way happy to tank it up in option to pick up that Herald and does so. Gonna get over the equalizer, blocks most with the Crescent Guard. Sheer now in danger as Joy has to use his stand behind to get out to safety. The slow comes on down and Shun will fall there. Sorry. Joy will fall to Shun. That's the way we phrase that in League of Legends. Now looking potentially for some more Care. Looking to body block.
Take 2 probes onto it. Jachi has flash, has ult in a few seconds. Shun can give him a good bonk hit.
Flash out. Shun gonna have to clone back towards safety. Does so, but that turret in mid lane will now fall.
Had it well. Shun able to force Jachi
plays
off.
out from here, of course. FPX gonna try and get control over this mid lane wave. Remember, there's a lot of those summoners down, but again, they just don't really get very much from that Weaver's wall.
I think that Dwayne needed to hop to a minion and then get the ult on target. I think that a Glacial Fissure, while the wall is coming in, is about as good as it gets outside of the actual Ornn ult itself. Now, when you have low CC, it becomes even more important to get to objective first, because it means that your lack of engage becomes less of an issue.
And then you're also trying to engage through a Braum and an Ornn, which can be kind of annoying in its own right. JDG not going to have as much going forwards as they are retreating here, I think. Pei's taken a couple nasty shots from Jachi, actually. Sheer gets the knock up there. Pei's forced away.
The Dragon's taken, and that's their job there. FPX, turn up to the objective first, just like at the Herald ability, where you can just walk into the other side of the map. Xiaoshu doesn't have flash, but the W missing makes this a bit harder.
Milky Way going to Crescent Guard there, shoving back. That's easily done. Milky Way will take a turret shot or two, but that little bit of heal there is more than enough. Still the Herald in inventory, so she'll be able to pick this turret up here, do FPX, and maybe drop that Herald somewhere else. Of course, JDG taking the opportunity to get a full court press on the other lanes.
Yes, they're pushing in a mid and top lane. Yeah, the Herald isn't needed for this bot lane turret, but they can use that elsewhere, hold that.
Oh no!
Later day, he'll be able to get it on the next one. It's not an issue. However, you know, if Xiaoshu had pulled that ult, he's got flash. I mean, FPX don't want to be pulling another sub-tier Ornn ultimate. Sheer has not impressed me on the Ornn so far. JDG, they're the ones which need to retake the pit now. I don't think they should have allowed that to happen.
Here we go. Going to try and jump onto Sheer, who uses the Bellows Breath to buy a bit of time. Looking for a bit of damage. Nice true shot barrage. Weaver's Wall keeps 2 over the awkward spaces. Shun has already used the Warrior Trickster, so FPX just gets to stand there and make sure the Dragon doesn't go down very freely. The Equalizer's pretty okay. Maybe an anti-calm play afterwards. Shun has to flash out after the tidal wave comes across. SPX low, but not down. Jachi still in the Dragon Pit, looking to find an angle to keep shooting. Pei's finds the empowered double shot to chunk Jachi, who will arcane shift over the back.
The unending spare a little easy. It's not that there's tons of armor on the other side. It's kind of future-proofing the build, though. And Pei's has got to do a hell of a lot of work, because this Lucian actually does have agency. Cyclone on top side.
Care really wants that turret. It's going to flash on out, but Pei's is there. Weaver's Wall not available until just now. Maybe he can look to run away, but I think unfortunately Pei's going to get in time to cull down the Talia.
Caught out on the side lane. You can't cast that Weaver's Wall while you're in combat, so he's trying to get out of combat. That Ornn ult. I guess even without the Talia, they could mount an attack, and there's a spellbook smite for Dwayne, despite him not having flash to get in range to use it.
No Cyclone, no culling, so a couple relatively big ultimates. The Tidal Wave and the Equalizer still dangerous. True shot barrage scouting, doesn't really hit that many people. Dwayne though, ow, that one hit. Here comes that call of the Force. Got Milky Way to the backside, forces Pace to flash. Weaver's Wall comes on down as they can make the Atacon down about 3k speed. The Equalizer comes across multiple members. That's pretty good there from Xiaoshu. Tidal Wave keeps them all on top of it. If we turn back towards the Atacon, it is still a Shockwave onto 3. Does get the kill onto that Braum. Atacon down low. Taken now by JDG as FPX on the retreat.
And FPX can't really retake the objective. I thought there'd be a leash there, but it doesn't really end up doing that much. Pace starting his DPS.
Gonna try and get as much damage now down on Sheer as he can, getting a lot of those autos down, cycling through the Vigilance, the double shot passive, the command attack, Dissonance, gets a double in, as now Shun gets to Nimbus strike forwards. Milky Way will try and dance his way around the play. Can't get another turret shot onto Scout though, despite the 3 talent strike knockup, and JDG finally find a clean fight. That's Ace and the Atacant for JDG.
And despite the fact that JDG, we've had some criticisms of their objective play, they are going to win this game. FPX, they have really struggled to team fight. JDG's team fights have been better, and while we've criticized them for some things, rightfully so, they are besting
off this Dark Seal, and now I'm going to try and look for an engage here. Care does get the shove on to Scout, who might now be in danger. The shockwave comes on through, but not in time to keep the Ori alive. Man down, they can turn back towards the Dragon. Sole point potentially for FPX.
I guess what happened again, JDG not on the objective first. They gave up pressure in that river, and they allowed FPX to get in there. Now, with no shockwave, no Orianna, can JDG fight back? It's all really on the equalizer and on Pace to see what they can do.
Equalizer comes across, not fantastic, splits the team apart slightly, but it's Sheer and Jway just putting their bodies and shields in the place. Milky Way over the wall, gets up to Pace, tries to get the bubble down, can't quite do the value they were hoping for. Almost again, but the follow-up isn't there on the knock-up on Pace.
And Milky Way goes
makes
a big mistake.
You can see that replay, because I think it was Wink hitting a really good Aqua Prison on a very sharp timing that kept Milky Way in a tricky position. Nearly steals that with the true shot barrage. Not quite.
Yeah, they got it within a couple hundred HP. That wasn't bad, actually. If the smite was already down, takes a little while to activate. He couldn't really get in range there. It's not on him.
Wild doesn't get anywhere near that Lucian. And ends up being really awkward. Now going to try and find one on the backside. If you've tried once, may as well try again. Does manage to get a fair amount of value onto Pace. This time he's in danger. Much better coordination from FPX.
Ah, yeah, the Monster Energy Blast Cone strikes again. Teleports in. Dragon not a...
Potentially get this tier 1 top side here. Be able to get there. There's the bounty. We'll take jump on him and he survives. Quite...
Oh, Shun
though. Finds an insane angle onto Jachi. Blink and you miss it. Flash Warrior Trickster. And a Cyclone to boot. And they'll pick up 2 members. As the Baron falls off, FPX let their guards down.
The unseen Shockwave is the deadliest. The Shun Cyclone is fantastic, but the Shockwave on top of him is the thing that does the damage, and blink and you miss it, rightfully said. Jashi caught out.
Ooh, has to flash this time. Crescent Guard comes on down. Milky Way buying a bit of time, but again, they just get inside the Thunderdome, and Pace is too scary. They have to try and jump him or the game is over. And unfortunately, they fail to jump him. And he manages to slide away with that flash. Now Care and Dway have to do the Lord's work somehow. Wink actually in danger here. Forced to flash, but has to summon a spell.
Yeah, so JDG not it.
Actually had Flash and Arcane Shift, could maybe have gotten out there if his reactions were quick enough. With a plus and then a minus for when they're sad.
Oh, fun minus Phoenix.
Yeah,
Why have I never said that before? Shockwave's not bad.
Scout actually just gone golden. True Shot Barrage doesn't really land because he's gone golden at the same time. Trying to get the knock up on his guy, gets a low, very low. Can't quite bring him down though. The CC from Wink is obnoxious. They could not do anything to Orianna for a solid 3 seconds. Now Jachi needs to hop away, but Xiaoshu's having none of it. Flash with the Nimbus Cloak will finally go down, but Shun brings down his opposite number. And Jachi as well goes down. Scout TPs into the base of JDG will finally end the game.
Hayes spends about half of that fight being in straight melee range, and it doesn't matter. FPX, they cannot overcome JDG, even with the addition of Milky Way in this first game.